Mahamudu Bawumia to give us the keynote speech.
Please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Samson. The Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo. Deputy Ministers, see Isaac, Merikuduka here, and Benito Osubio, Members of Parliament, Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Lands and Forestry, President of the National House of Chiefs, Ogia Hoho Yaojebi II, Nana Dr. SKB Asante, the Justice Retired Stephen Brobe, Professor Justice Ashikote, Justice Sir Dennis Ajayi, the Chairman of the Lands Commission, representatives of the Judiciary, Executives, Secretary, and members of the National Lands Commission, heads of sector agencies, Nime, Name, distinguished guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning to you. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with you this morning at this National Symposium on the Land Act 2020. Today's National Symposium marks a significant event in the history of land administration in Ghana. I say this because for the first time, a law on land administration has been passed to revise, harmonize, and consolidate laws on land to ensure sustainable land administration and management. This legislation is remarkable because it has been achieved by the repeal of 13 acts and many more related legislations in order to ensure a one-stop legislation with all that is required to set up an effective land administration in Ghana. So if you want to know about the laws relating to land, all you need to do is to go to the Land Act 2020. You don't go to 13 different pieces of legislation and more trying to figure out what it is. And so this is really what is revolutionary about what has taken place. And I would really, really want to say a very, very big thank you to the core team that worked on this. You saw from the history that has been given by the Executive Secretary that this took a long time and a lot of hours, you know, and a lot of supervisory inspections by Nana Dr. SKB Asante and keeping them. I really want us, I mean, you have Dr. SKB Asante here, you have Professor Justice Ashikote here, you have Justice Brobe here, all of them. Please, let's give them a round of applause. I mean, really. Splendid, splendid, splendid. It's fantastic, and we really thank you. I wish to also commend my boss, the President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, for his dedication, and all the stakeholders who ensured that even in the midst of the season's festivities, you know, he signed this thing into law on 23rd December. He's always working. You would have thought he would have been taking it easy for Christmas. But he was in the office working and signing this bill into law. And we really thank him for his commitment. He was very much looking forward to it and got it done. I also want to commend our energetic and hardworking Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Abujinapo, for organizing this symposium. I mean, he's been very much very keen, making sure I would be here today, and I was also very keen to be here. So we had a double coincidence of once, in a sense. So the importance of an effective and efficient land sector in Ghana cannot be overemphasized. Every economic activity undertaken by man has relation to land, and therefore land remains pivotal to the national development. In fact, the strategy, aid strategy, show a functional land administration system as a catalyst for development. If you look at all the advanced economies, whenever you see the economy not doing well, you watch the mortgage market, the land market. That is where the wealth is. So that whenever you see the mortgage connections to many, many areas of the economy, jobs, and so on. Indeed, in 2018, I paid a surprise visit to the Lands Commission to have a first-hand understanding of the operations of the Commission and the interventions needed to improve the system. Some of the challenges I observed during the visit included the limitations in fiscal space, reliance on manual processes and paper-based records, and all were contributing to delays in processing applications by clients. In fact, I was amazed, and I didn't know how, given what I saw on the floor, how they could find documents. But they seemed to have a system. Only they could understand. When I looked at it, a Ghanaian man would say, "Kwe." So I came back to the office, shaking my head all the way. Sectors such as the banking use of fraudulent collateral, unregistered and untraceable properties, and in securing bank loans make it difficult to realize value in event of default. Our banks can be in court for over 20 years over trying to enforce a collateral. And so because of that, I mean, when you take a collateral to bank, they look at it as a piece of paper. After all, another person may be holding the same land certificate, and it is valueless. So they will not pay attention to it. And this is really when you ask for one of the reasons why our interest rates are so high in Ghana, and especially our mortgage lending rates and so on. These are some of the reasons, because, finding out title to land is very, very difficult, because it can always be challenged and so on. And this is also why our mortgage market has not developed. It is worth noting that successive governments have tried resolving the challenges in our land administration system. But these efforts have often come with various complications and inefficient deployment of resources. Governments after governments, bank loans after bank loans. Our fundamental problems in land administration persist, nonetheless, seemingly unsolvable, and citizens' complaints get louder and louder. So citizens resort to land guards to enforce or collect other land. To the socio-economic development of Ghana, the government of Nana Akufo-Addo is committed to change through the application of technology. Ghana can only make the much-needed strides in the development when technology becomes a driver for all sectors of the economy. Therefore, as part of the digitization agenda of government, I have established in my office a liaison unit which is fervently working to assist the Lands Commission and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to expedite the digitization processes. I'm particularly excited that under the new Land Act, electronic conveyancing has been captured. So, which this can only be realized, however, by the establishment of a robust digitized land sector agency, and this has been incorporated in the Land Act. So the digitization of the land agency, of the land commission, has now become very imperative. And I have every confidence that the team that we have at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the Honorable Minister with Usubio and Mirakuduka, is a formidable team working with the Lands Commission, and I believe that we are going to slay this dragon and make sure that we fight the demons and principalities that we meet in the process of land administration. I mean, you all know the demons and principalities that you meet when Mirakuduka, we are going to lead that charge. We are going to digitize the land registry, and we are going to start that process now. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, in the process, I mean, looking at the Act, you know, you are seeing that it is required that within 10 days of the last day of each month, the land registrars are required to compile a list of all registered interests and rights from the previous month and submit it to the Director of Land Registration for publication on the Lands Commission website. So we will be having updated month-by-month registration of interest in land, so that, you know, and that will go on the website so that you can see what is happening on the site. I'm also very happy about the protection of spousal interest in land for properties acquired during marriage. So when you acquire properties during marriage, and for a lot of my male colleagues, you can't go and sell it without the knowledge of your wife. This has now, our spouses have now been protected under this particular act. So, if you try to do it, you fall foul of the law, and so on. And I think it's very, 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 very important that you don't go to mortgage land or sell land that goes to the disadvantage of the spouse. I was very happy to see that provision in the law. When we were doing banking law, there was this case of Lloyds Bank versus Bundy, which is an old English case directly protecting spouses who had equitable interests in land. And I think that is essentially what we have done here in codifying this into law and all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, the laws in themselves, however, do not resolve problems. We are very good at passing laws. And that one, in Papa. The only problem is implementing the laws. That's where the problem is. But we have the laws and their effective implementation that will result in the desired changes in the land sector that all of us so much desire. To this end, I would like to emphasize the need for all stakeholders to rally together to ensure that the provisions of the Land Act are implemented effectively and resources are channeled towards it. For instance, the Land Act provides that our eminent chiefs, clan and family heads, the Tindane, establish customary land secretariats to improve the management of their lands. However, our traditional authorities will require technical and professional assistance from Lands Commission, Office of the Administrator of Stool Lands, and the Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority to establish these secretariats. If we just sit down and say they will be established, that the Honorable Minister would give the urgent support and needed directives to the agencies to this end. Also, the participation of the private sector is essential, especially in the injection of capital and technical know-how in targeting specific key improvements in the infrastructure and operations of the Lands Commission. This participation would go a long way in improving efficiency and increasing the internally generated resources. I want to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by urging all those present at this symposium to make meaningful inputs in the discussions to ensure the effective implementation of the Land Act 2020. The good people of Ghana renewed our government's mandate for 4 more to do more. We passed the Act in the first 4-year term. Now the road to effective implementation has begun. The government will lend its full support to this new direction. I wish you fruitful deliberations. I thank you for your attention, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to clap, continue to appreciate His Excellency the Vice President for the marching orders more particularly. We will take a 10 to 15 minute snack break right now. It is only our dignitaries, the guests, who will go out for a photograph. So please do, and be minded that in 15 minutes you are seated back, so we continue with the second session. Shall we be upstanding as we have the national anthem? We can't thank you enough, Your Excellency the Vice President. Please, it's time for photography. Please, let's have all our dignitaries, the guests, take the podium for the photography session. Thank you very much. Let's remain standing as His Excellency the Vice President takes his leave.